to conceal the bruising on her face. How did he pay for it? I paid for it with a corporate credit card. AUSA says, why did you leave Combs Enterprises? Kaplan says, I didn't think I should be covering things up, like buying the witch hazel. Also, my father had prostate cancer. I've heard about this. Witch hazel, what is that? I've heard about this before. Witch hazel. What does it do? What the fuck? It relieves minor pain and irritation in the rectal area. Oh my God. Bumbleclot, dog. Let me tweet out the stream. So witch hazel is some rectal curing type of thing, right? I thought I've heard it in other contexts. Maybe I'm wrong. But right here it says relieves minor pain and irritation in the rectal area. That's what they're saying. Wow. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just tweeting this out. Wow. Oh, Kid Cudi just showed up. Yeah, we don't give a fuck about this goddamn. Kid Cudi just showed up. Oh, nah. This is like a WWE theme song. Look. Hold up. Let me get this like Crystal Lake. Honey, are you nervous to testify today? Oh, the nigga comes out like a rock star. Is that a crop top? No crop top? Oh, I'm not fucking with this. Where's the skirt? Wait, Kid Cudi dressing like a boy today? Bruv, his testimony to me would hit harder if he pulled up in one of them little tutus and a crop top. That's what he be wearing sometimes. Okay.
What are you expecting today? You look great.
You look great.
Yo, he chain smoking, I could tell.
Love the bit, not too serious.
Pull out for Cudi.
Yo, they trying to put Diddy away for life. Chat, is that snitching? It ain't is it snitching? Now, I do think, there's like man code. Yo, you took Diddy's bitch, you fucked her, and he wanted to get his bitch back. Now, usually, let me tell you this. I'm not competing with a bum-ass nigga for a chick. I'm not competing with if I'm Diddy, I'm not even blowing his car up. I'm just flexing on both of them. Fuck both of you bum-ass niggas. Enjoy bummetry. I'm not competing with a bum. Like, no disrespect, I don't think Kid Cudi's a bum, but Diddy's a mogul. Now, granted, I think Diddy realized Cassie was a special piece of ting. You know what I mean? He can't just swap out the middle woman to the freakoffs. But I would have let Kid Cudi take her stupid ass. Bitch, you gonna leave me and go get with Kid Cudi? This nigga is mentally crazy. He can't find a hit. And all that crush a bit, little bit, roll it up, do it. That shit is over. Enjoy that shit. I would have turned up another bitch flexing on her. I ain't gonna lie. I can't compete with a nigga. But, you know what I mean? Special girl. Special girl, I guess, right? You think it's a rat for doing this? Maybe. Let me see. No, you're not. Domestic violence, sexual assault, testifying, or calling the police, that's not snitching. Y'all tripping.
Play it like Crystal. Hold up, let me get this like Crystal Lake.
Honey, are you nervous to testify today? What are you expecting today? You look great.
You look great.
I love the fit, not too serious.
For Cudi. Pull out for Cudi.
Okay. Let's hurry up with the tweets. We gotta get to Kid Cudi. Okay. Any of violence. So it says also my father had prostate cancer. Any of violence. He threw things at Gina. Ooh, we heard about this. We're gonna go to Gina's shit soon. In the entry of the main home on Star Island. What was he throwing? Green apples. How hard? Very hard. Later, I took the medicine bag into their room. Mr. Combs wanted to leave quickly. Then what? I heard Gina at the gate and male voices. Now, here's the thing. It's important. this is the first time. I was saying to Lauren last night, like we were sending voice messages back and forth. Shout out to Lauren Conlon. She's a white girl I played that comes out of court. Because she was, we were just trading ideas. No freaky shit, chat. No, like, Dr. Umar's going to be proud of me. Trust. Straight work. And I said to her, I'm excited to see if Gina's going to get some type of action in here. I have a sneaky suspicion Gina's still on the bandwagon. She ain't give up yet. I think she looked around and said, finally, I've never been his number one bitch. I've never been his number two girl. I was number 3, 4, or 5. Finally, all these other bitches have eliminated themselves. Young Miami ran for the hills. She's chasing down a 20-year-old fourth-round quarterback, Shador. Cassie over here, fucked up, got old as shit. Not, we all age, but listen, women, let me tell you this. Don't date the billionaire in your early 20s, then settle with the broke trainer in your when it's about to be over. No, cash out. Cash out. If anything, fuck with the broke niggas when you're like 20, 21, and by the time you're about 28, get the bag. And what I mean get the bag, you about to have kids, you wanna have a lifestyle where you're not running around fucking everybody for whatever. Get the guy of highest value. Cassie retarded. She did the opposite. She fucked the billionaire when she was 20, got whored out, and then after, she got the broke nigga. And then that's why she sued later, because now poverty didn't feel too good. Come on, man. Talk about it. Gina, I think that's what she's trying to secure the bag, right? I do want to see if she's going to be participating in this trial. I think she's still on the bandwagon. If she's not, she would probably be in the trial as a prosecution witness, right? Think about it. Diddy's lawyers is asking, why don't y'all bring her in? That means she's probably rocking with Diddy still. Okay, so Diddy used to throw apples at her, blah, blah. Gina was at the gate. They heard male voices. And who was the male voices? Was security. They said, when you left, what did you do? Collected myself. Then I went to work for an integrated marketing firm. So we left the Combs Enterprise. Too much violence. Okay. Combs Agnafilo says, why did you go to work for Combs Enterprise? He was an incredible entrepreneur. I learned from him. So what did Brian do as COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer? Ensuring profitability of each unit. Kaplan says, I was an employee when Revolt launched. Agnafilo says, tell me about it. We were on the 6th floor of 1710 Broadway. Everyone was there. It was momentous. Diversity was important to Mr. Combs. That's what Agnafilo asked. Kaplan says, specifically for African Americans. Agnafilo says, what did Blue Flame do? So that was marketing for Ciroc. So what was Diageo? They owned Johnny Walker and others. Mr. Combs set up marketing entity for Ciroc. Agnafilo said, what was your job? For example, Mr. Combs would say, we're going to leave the house. He meant 3 to 5 minutes. I had that checklist for bags, toiletry. It was a bad look if something wasn't in there. Agnafilo says, is there a binder near you? I can't read that. Kaplan says, it says Southern District. I'm handing you something to refresh your recollection because you take a look at it as long as you want. Okay? Yo, let me tell you this. Brian Steele is going to have his way with Kid Cudi. Pause. Brian Steele, who we all seen got Jeffrey Williams a very favorable plea when people thought he was going to go down for 20 or at least 10. Brian Steele going to earn his money with Kid Cudi. This is going to be the headline. He has to violate. He has to violate. He has to, in a roundabout way, show that Kid Cudi is nothing but a tap dancing, crop top wearing, feminine beta male that's scared even if he saw his own shadow, and it's not that Diddy scared him. That nigga just a bitch. That's what he gonna have to prove. Yo, wait, how you know Diddy blew up your car? Nigga, you just a bitch. Stop playing. You know you a bitch. You a bitch. You've been a bitch the whole time. You crop tops. Yeah, come on, stop playing. You a bitch. Like, that's all he got to do. He just be like, yo, why are you here? Oh, you here to say that Diddy blew up your car? Man, you know you a damn bitch. Diddy ain't blow up your fucking car. You ever see Diddy with a lighter? You ever see Diddy with a fucking C4 or some shit? You just a whole bitch. That's all he got to do. We're going to see if he gets it done. Here we go, though. Agnafilo says, oh, here we go. You ran an off-site training. A graduate from Harvard Business School, also Kenny Burns. Kaplan says, I do remember. Agnophilia says, you were effective, right? Kaplan says, well, I did work hard. Agnophilia says, I don't know how you'll answer, but was it good or bad? He says, complicated. Agnophilia says, he didn't yell at you when you brought 2 waters. Kaplan says, I worked hard. He's not really answering the questions. So remember this whole water thing is that Diddy wanted like a liter of water or something, and he brought 2 half liters. But Diddy was so particular, if he says, bring me 2 liters of water or 1 liter of water, he don't mean 2 bottles that equal that. He wants 1 bottle. So you got to go find that. And he said one time he didn't find that. He just brought 2. Whatever. Agnophilia says, so he didn't yell at you when you wrote 2 walls, right? So I worked hard. He says, okay. Who was Biggie? He was a huge rapper who unfortunately passed away. Agnophilia says, wasn't Biggie's birthday a holiday at Combs Enterprise? He says, yes. Agnophilia says, was it a creative environment? Kaplan says, absolutely. Attracted all types of creative people. Lawyers, musicians, advertising people. Agnophilia says, a few specific questions. Have you ever used corporate credit cards? He says, yes. How did Mr. Combs pay? Well, Christina Coram, keep hearing that name, held his wallet with a black Amex in it. It's a black card. Well, actually, no, isn't a black card a MasterCard? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it was a black Amex in it. Agnophilia says, you have no reason to think he kept track of how the baby well was paid for, right? Nah, no reason. Or maybe the applesauce. Nah, he loves applesauce. Combs Agnophilia says, what about, do you like it on cheeseburgers? Kaplan says, I ain't gonna lie, he loved the applesauce on everything. Agnophilia, you could tell he's trying to make this guy feel comfortable. He's trying to butter him up. He's trying to do what Estavo did to Cassie. Like you gotta like almost like joke with him a little bit that they get comfortable. Okay. Agnophilia said, let's talk about the plane. Yo, you heard glass breaking. So there was an incident on the plane and there was a glass that broke. Now on some of these planes, there's these like little glass panels that they're not outside the plane, but they're inside the plane to kind of create separation and space, but look good. So apparently, somehow a glass broke. He says, let's talk about the plane. You heard the glass breaking? You ain't see it? He said, nah, I didn't see it. So, interesting. The incident with Gina, this is 2-Star Island in Miami. He said, okay, so you walk into the house and there's a thin table. He says, I don't know. Agnophilia says, wait. So you don't remember how a person could get out of the gate at 2-Star Island? He says, no, I don't remember that. I just remember there was screaming and commotion. Agnophilia says, wait, screams of terror, like how I could get the gate open? He says, I don't know how to distinguish the two. Okay. Agnophilia was cooking low-key. Agnophilia says, he threatened your jobs. But did he ever physically threaten you? Like, okay, it might have been like, yo, I could fire you. Cool. But did he ever say, nigga, I'll beat the fuck out of you and fire, right? He says, he never threatened me physically. Okay. Agnophilia says, you talked about Kim Portner. How was she different? Kaplan says, his respect for her was very different. They had incredible kids. Agnophilia says, thank you. Okay. And by the way, we all agree and we all think that Diddy's respect for the mother of his child was different. I've been making this argument ever since. I think Diddy fucked up by Cassie wasted her 20s doing freakoffs and everything else, trying to get Diddy to fully commit. I don't even think she cared that Diddy had other bitches. She wanted a status that another woman got, maybe a little bit more. She wanted to be a wife. She wanted to have kids. Diddy never wanted to give her kids and was never going to make her a wife. After 10 years, she realized she wasted her fucking time with this nigga. She got tight. Okay. I seen this. I want to see what you guys think about it. Fortunately, I got to open up this page, but whatever. Is this nigga still beef with me? I don't know if I done him, but whatever. Okay, this is a woman who's speaking about what she believes is Cassie's motive. Listen to this, and I'm just gonna read the chat or look at the chat for, y'all could do a poll, but I want to watch y'all live reaction. 1, if she's spitting facts. 2, if she's just out there and bullshitting and you don't believe her. 1, facts. 2, cap. Okay, listen.
How are we feeling? How are we feeling about Cassie now? I just want to say this. A long time ago, I said, I don't believe Cassie. I don't believe she was ever a victim. And let me tell you something. It's so many people talking about she didn't want to upset him. She didn't want to this. They was texting. She was in a safe space. You mean to tell me she can leave the relationship, go get married to the help unharmed, but she was that scared of him? No. I said a long time ago and I got chewed up for it. Cassie got jealous when he saw how he put Young Miami on. She started thinking about all the disgusting stuff she was doing with him, and she left with nothing. And she like, damn, he just turned Miami up overnight. Done turned her into a millionaire overnight. Young Miami ain't even rapping no more because she...
Now, I am going to agree with that somewhat. I feel the way, like, here's the difference, though. Diddy was a little bit closer to his prime with Cassie. And I hate to pause it, but, I just got to add some 2 cents. Diddy was closer to his prime with Cassie. He was the way bigger star. City Girls did have a buzz. Diddy might be a billionaire, but his star power was dimming a bit. And the way when Cassie was with Diddy, Cassie always played second fiddle. She was in the Diddy show. What ended up happening, Young Miami eventually ended up in the Diddy show, but at first it felt like Diddy was overly simping. Nah, that's Young Miami. I bought her a Maybach. I bought her a house, whatever she want. And it felt like it was uplifting this woman that I think Cassie wanted that too. So I don't know if maybe Cassie was watching the treatment of Diddy. And that do happen. Your ex-bitch see you treat your new bitch a little bit better and say, why the fuck you ain't do that with me? I don't know if that necessarily was the case, but she's trying to make this case. But you guys judge.
She was doing with him, and she left with nothing. And she like, damn, he just turned Miami up overnight. Done turned her into a millionaire overnight. Young Miami ain't even rapping no more because she got her own show. She the face of this, face of that. She was getting money. He put Miami in position, and he never put Cassie in position. Nobody is a sex slave. I'll tell you right now, I know some females who are into all that stuff that they saying. I would never expose because I'm the type that listen but don't judge. But I can tell you right now, I know some females who into everything that they're saying. Nobody's forcing them. Nobody's forcing them. It's easy to paint somebody as a monster because they're doing vile acts. I know I'm turned up and they more turned up than me. Scorpios, most Scorpios, I'm going to be so real with y'all. Scorpios are turned up to the max. I'm with whatever my man with. Whatever he want to do, I want to do too. It ain't really too much that I wouldn't do with my man. But at the end of the day, the males, I don't even know. So all I'm saying is, I believe they were very much consensual freaks of it all. I do believe she might experience some domestic violence just due to the fact that I know some Scorpio males are very controlling. They say that that's a part of our sign. We can get a little bit controlling. I ain't with the putting my hands on nobody, but I believe that. I believe that this man put his hands on her because we saw it. But those freak-offs, I believe she liked to do it. Just like I know some females that like to do it. I had a female try to convince me that I should get peed on by my man. Like, just try it. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him put it in your face. I said, sweetheart, I use Noxzema. I refuse. He doesn't even eat healthy enough for me to be trying that. It's like, no, let me stop.
Disqualified from the freak-off, man.
All I'm saying, and y'all can sound off below if y'all think I'm wrong. I'm not going to argue with you for your view and opinion. Cassie liked it. She's no different than Diddy. She got mad once he put Miami on. And I think that her husband was the one who wanted to push this because she went through a depression. I remember when her husband said,
yo, this is why, Cassie's a telltale sign why you can't leave a lit nigga for a broke nigga. If Cassie had left Diddy and went to Dr. Dre, no lawsuits getting filed. I promise you. I promise you. No lawsuit. This is why y'all females need to upgrade. Cassie downgraded and realized that back, like Uber pools, middle seat in the back of the plane, vacation with the kiddie pool, like that shit don't really hit like the private jet. We're going to Mykonos. Yo, we're doing this. Butlers. Nah, it don't hit the same.
Because she went through a depression. I remember when her husband said she just out of nowhere got depressed. You know what she got depressed about, buddy?
Wow.
She saw when Miami said she like golden showers. She knew Miami wasn't lying. We all thought it was a joke, but she knew Miami wasn't lying because she like golden showers too. And she started thinking about the way Diddy was doing all that he was doing and all the cocaine that they probably were into and all the baby oil and all the fun drugs and money that those demonic people are into. And she got depressed because she was living a boring life that she thought she wanted. And she really didn't want that life. She wanted that nasty life. And if I'm wrong, whatever, if you think I'm wrong, fine. But I can tell you right now, and the crazy part is, the girls that I know that's into this, they probably would come on my page and be like, yup. But I wouldn't even do that because that's not my business, y'all business, or nobody's business. But I know for a fact that there are females who heavily enjoy every single thing that's being said in that video. Diddy would have never had this problem had he
got a ghetto bitch. I've been telling y'all, a ghetto bitch.
I'm done because I've been said too much. Cassie was part of it.
All right. Cool. Let's get back to the tweets, y'all. Kid Cudi's in the building. Agnophilia says, this is still to the Kaplan guy. This is on, I think this is this either is recross or just the first cross examination. When you set up the hotel room for Mr. Combs and Mrs. Porter, was there baby oil? No, there was lotions. You expressed cautions about hotel while you clean the room. Oh. Wow. Okay, so now, and I know Diddy and his lawyers, oh, this is really big, chat. Pause. It's really important that Diddy's lawyers finally brought up maybe a situation where, or how Diddy got down with his mother of his child. They said there was no baby oil. They said no, there was lotions. Now, Diddy has to approve what his lawyer's bringing up. Diddy has protected Kim Porter's legacy. He called her his soulmate. That's the mother of his kids. I think this is almost asked in a way to say, bro, don't act like you only set up freakoffs rooms. You used to set up all hotel rooms. Okay, let's speak about you setting up the hotel room for Diddy and Miss Porter. Was there baby oil? And he basically says no. He says there was lotions. Now, I don't know if they're going to pry into that, but what I'm starting to think, again, your lawyer don't do nothing without you approving it. So I believe that Diddy approved his lawyers to ask that questions about Kim Porter, which was to show a difference that, no, you're acting like I had you setting up only freak-off rooms. You set up every room. You set up a room for me and the mother of my child, and it wasn't a freak-off room because there was no baby oil. And I guess instead of answering the question directly, he said, nah, he says no baby oil, but he says lotions, though. Agnophilia says, you expressed cautions about hotels. Why did you clean rooms afterwards? He said our hotel staff could sell photos. Everyone wants a payday. Ironic, because I think if I'm Agnophilia, I'd be like, did you want a payday? Hold on, here we go. Did you send him a photo of him and Kim Porter? Kaplan says, after she died. So he sent Diddy a photo of him and Kim Porter. He said, I was heartbroken for him. He said, you were close? Kaplan says, I invited him to my wedding. I didn't hear back. Agnophilia says, objection. What the fuck? It's kind of interesting. He objects while he's asking the question. Wow. So people are surprised by that. Ooh. I want to hear about this moment right here. Wow. So did you respect Diddy? Dude says yes. Now, I ain't going to lie to you. This is going to tear up Cassie's soul. I don't care if she got a baby in the belly and it's about to be a third baby with her new guy that's her husband. Remember, Cassie left Diddy when she saw Diddy write something to say not Cassie, Kim Porter was my true soulmate. And Cassie literally said, what the fuck was the 11 years that I spent with you about? What was that for? If that's your soulmate. Now hearing Diddy's lawyers take the approach to say, yo, when Kim Porter came around, was there a difference in how you set up the rooms and what would be in the rooms? And the dude's basically saying, yes, there'd be lotions and shit because Diddy's so freaky. But probably, we don't know. We're assuming here, maybe there were freak-offs, but it wasn't freak-offs to the Cassie standard where, like I told you, like he had to look at Cassie like an object. He might have loved her, but she's an object. He's having her strapped to the ground, mouth open, and random niggas peeing on her and nutting on her. That doesn't seem like you ain't gonna have niggas do that to the mother of your child. Hell no. Nah. So Cassie is probably, she's not in court, but she's seen this transcript. She probably watching the stream. Cassie, hi. She watching somehow. And she's looking at this and she's saying, what? This nigga told me he was freaking off with everybody. Wait, he was only freaking off with me? He was only using me to get peed on and to extract semen from the guys to rub on his nipples? Yeah. Sorry, Cassie. I'm sorry. Agnophilia says, what is this a photo of? Kaplan says, me, KK, and Combs at Teterboro Airport. He just got the jet. That's why there's champagne. Agnophilia says, you're happy there, right? Kaplan says, no. Refresh it. It's that I was glad that I found mascara in the back seat. So you could tell this nigga don't fuck with Diddy at all. They've put up a picture of him smiling. It looks like it was back when Diddy bought his jet. And they're at Teterboro. They're having a glass of champagne. It's him, Christina Karam, Diddy. He's smiling in the picture. They're saying, bro, you look mad happy right here. Damn, you were happy to be around. He said, nah. I was just glad I found mascara in the back seat. So this guy's gay. Like, with all due respect, George Kaplan Diddy. Yeah, like we get, this is him right here. Like, I don't got to, like, come on. Like, I got the gaydar 79.2. This nigga gay. I don't even need to hear him say a word. This is a homosexual. I'm sorry. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I could look at that nigga and tell you he's gay. He gay. Gay. Hey! It's fine. I ain't gonna lie. Gay niggas make the best assistants and stylists, to keep it true. You know what I mean? The thing is, with a gay dude is actually better as an assistant than women. Most likely, people get women as assistants, but I'm gonna tell you why a gay dude is better. He don't like the same thing you like. He don't take personal feelings. Like, you get a woman as an assistant, when you want the woman to go set up for you to go fuck another bitch, she starts thinking like the other girl. Like, damn, this is the third girl I seen here this week. Damn, he's a dog. She got all them things in her mind. A gay nigga, he want penis. And hopefully he not attracted to you. So it's like, he don't give a fuck what you do. Like, it doesn't affect him like that. He thinks like a nigga, but he don't want none of the things that could be a problem with you. I'm being honest with y'all. Being honest. If you ask him why some of these niggas have gay assistants, that's why. All right, bro, I be trying to give y'all some jewels. Y'all be like, oh, what are you talking? All right, niggas. All right, whatever, man. I'm telling you the truth. Gay dudes make the best stylists too, because when you combine a straight dude lack of fashion and a gay dude extra feminine, but there's still a man sense of fashion, they could create a good look for you, especially for like formal occasions. You get what I'm saying? And gay dudes care about their look way more than men. Nigga, I roll up out of bed, I brush my teeth, take a shower. Nigga, I'm not doing no facial care and all that dumb shit. Nigga, like, what the fuck? Gay niggas be thinking they're hoes. So I'm being honest with you. Like, I'm Jamaican, but I can tell the truth. Yo, y'all know that look I had for my best look for the photo shoots for Everyday Struggle? It was a gay dude that did it. Shout out to Marty. You know what I mean? Now, granted, he ain't trying to come on me, nothing like that. Pause. Like, he ain't trying to, like, He was mad professional, but boy hooked me up with a dope look. He gay. It is what it is. I ain't got a problem with gay people like that. So I'm telling y'all, gay men make the best assistants and best stylists. They have beaten women at their own game. Because a woman do too much dick watching. You start bringing mad bitches in, they're like, man, this is the fourth bitch this week. They start talking to the girls thinking it's like, nah, man, shut up, man. Like, you're supposed to do your job and get out of here. The only thing with, like, some of these gay dudes, like, they're so straight by the book, pause. This is why, like, the first time Diddy was trying to go clap a op, he talking about he ready to leave. Come on, man, you gotta be down. Anyway. So the dude don't fuck with Diddy. Clearly, he said he wasn't happy about the jet. He said he was just happy he found mascara. He gay. Come on now. Acting affiliate says, yo, they found you and subpoenaed you, right? He says, yeah, I had to retain counsel right away. Acting affiliate says, no further questions. So what about redirect? AUSA says, what incidents did shook you? Kaplan says, the plane with Cassie and the apples with Gina. So remember, the plane with Cassie is the situation where there was a glass broken, looked like Diddy had an outburst on the plane, and Diddy threw apples at Gina, okay? Kaplan said, I felt guilty. I didn't do anything after the incident with Cassie on the plane. He said, but did you see any injuries? Kaplan says, people could be injured without being injuries being visible. The tonality and tension with the apples he threw at Gina, it was troubling. Okay. AUSA says, you told Ms. Karam about both incidents, right? Kaplan says, yes, and I told her I'm unwilling to stand behind that behavior. I was quitting. Christina says, does Christina say she would quit? Kaplan says, no. It says, how long did she stay after you told her? Kaplan says, until recently. Don't tell me she quit. All right, here we go. All right, they let this dude off the stand. We call Scott Mescudi. Kid Cudi takes the witness stand in a leather jacket, white shirt, and a blue jeans. AUSA says, what do you do for work? Kid Cudi says, I'm an actor and a musician. I'm known as Kid Cudi. AUSA says, who is this in this photo? He says, Cassie. Oh, my God. We about to get to it today. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, chat. Kid Cudi on the stand. Kid Cudi is on the stand, people. This is another video of him showing up to court. Here we go.
Play like crystal. Hold up, you got this like Crystal Lake.
What are you expecting today?
Kid Cudi.
Great.
Kid Cudi! That's the series.
Why he going to the side? Now watch out, man.
Don't come. They got people come close. Can't come across that lane till they secure it.
Sorry.
Can't come across that lane till they secure it.
This a one in a lifetime footage right here. Let me get over here.
This thing was hustling.
Fuck. Building my ass. And a lot of these TikTokers be hating, boy, because they can't get no footage. Get your dull ass out the way. Man, we gonna see Kid Cudi. Now they got these barricaded off.
This nigga hustling. By the way, it's raining in New York City again. It's been yesterday and today. And he gets another
That's
glimpse.
Kid Cudi right there.
He gets a glimpse of Kid Cudi going through the metal detectors. Taking off his jacket. He's wearing this. And he's going into federal court, people. Taking off his watch. They're not playing around. Now, not all witnesses show up at the front. Cassie never showed up at the front. By the way, Cassie was guarded by HSI agents. She was a main witness. What this tells me, chat, is that Kid Cudi voluntarily is showing up. Cassie was escorted to that building with HSI agents, Homeland Security agents, who brought her in a separate entrance from what you would see. You never seen her outside. Okay? Now, Dawn did walk through the front. But Cassie, you never seen her in the front. What it tells me is that, yeah, Kid Cudi got subpoenaed, but he's going there on his own recognizance. Like, you know, the government knows there's a chance that maybe he would try to fight the subpoena or deny the subpoena or not show up and be held accountable for not answering the subpoena. So he walked up in that court confidently because he wanted to do this motherfucking thing. Again, maybe he didn't volunteer, but he definitely got subpoenaed. Okay, so bet. He's on the stand. They show him a picture. He says, that is Cassie. Scott says, and I got to imagine, Diddy's probably looking at him like, Playboy, I should have fucking blew up your house with you in it, nigga. Kid Cudi says, we dated in 2011. AUSA says, anyone else she was involved with? Kid Cudi says, Sean Combs. AUSA says, what do you know about their status? I knew that she and Combs had some problems. They weren't dating anymore. So basically he's trying to say, it's not like she cheated on him with me. They weren't dealing with each other. But everybody know, when that's your bitch, even when you're not together, that's still your bitch. Everybody know that. Come on, man. Come on. So you know Diddy was still tight, right? But Kid Cudi's making it clear, when I got with her, she was not with Diddy, okay? They had problems. I knew they had dated before, but they weren't together at the time. AUSA says, in December 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? Kid Cudi says, yes, I had a break-in. Cassie called me at 5 or 6 a.m. She said, Sean Combs found out about us. She asked me to pick her up, so I did. AUSA says, why? She was worried. AUSA says, what was her demeanor? Kid Cudi says she was very stressed and worried. AUSA says, where did you go? To the Sunset Marquee. AUSA says, why? I thought it was safe. It was off the radar. So they go to some place named Sunset Marquee. Looked like this was maybe a hotel or something of the sort. Yep, it's in a West Hollywood hotel. And they were trying to lay low. Let's look at it. Okay, it looks pretty cool, Chad, huh? I've been in West Hollywood a lot. I've never seen this place. Okay. It looks low-key, though. Nice. So he brings her there. By the way, I see someone in the responses already saying the obvious. She's trying to protect him. He's trying to protect Cassie. You could tell he's not here to play the rapper role of, oh yeah, I don't know nothing about nothing and blah, 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 blah. You know, like trying to keep it like P or whatever the hell people be saying when you don't snitch but you take the stand. He's here to say, that was my ex-girlfriend. These things are true. She was scared. I was trying to protect her. Okay? By the way, I do not believe that what he's doing is considered cooperation, snitching, or anything else of the sort. Okay? Okay. Let's keep it going. We're waiting. While we wait on more messages about Kid Cudi and Cassie interview. Did Kid Cudi ever talk about Cassie before? I don't think he ever did. Don't think he ever did. Did we ever see Kid Cudi and Cassie? Did we? No, right?
Go off and do my thing, and I was able to work with a lot of.
This is what I knew Diddy was evil. Cassie used to look beautiful with all that hair. Because I ain't gonna lie, her face right here don't look as pretty as it does when she has hair. That nigga, I think Diddy was putting her through a humiliation ritual. It was like she was a pretty girl and he wanted to denigrate her as much as he could, kill her self-esteem, and also at times, I know people followed it because it was a trend in terms of shaving half of your head. I think he did it to kind of, I think it was like punishment. Ain't no way Diddy was like, oh, you look better like this. No.
Great producers and writers and learn a lot about myself. What was it like making that transition from working with him heavily to working with people?
Diddy had her looking like Manny Pacquiao. Like, come on, bro. She look like Manny Pacquiao right here, bro. Like, there's some of Diddy's actions that make you feel like that can't be love, bro. She might have loved you, And maybe in a weird twisted way, he did have some love for her. But I do believe, my theory on this is that something happened that Diddy was he grew to be detestable of her. I don't know what it is. Maybe he found out that she fucked somebody he knew. Maybe early on in the relationship when she was dealing with somebody, like he had to lose, because all signs are pointing to he would never let Kim Porter undergo these things, which is going to show you, because I do think Diddy has some issues from childhood. But he was, and maybe just Kim wasn't going, but he didn't look to try to put Kim through like this humiliation shit to belittle her, to make her feel like she was nothing. But with Cassie, 100%, he appeared to be trying to have her feel a lack of a self-worth.
He did it because he seems quite scary.
Well, I always worked with, he's not scary.
The man himself actually scares me. I'm like, oh my God, he
to
did
be a little bit nervous. No, it was never really a complicated thing because Pop was always involved. But the transition was actually me going and working with completely other different producers. So Danger, who I did Official Girl with.
Let's go back to the tweets. Kid Cudi's on the stand, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. AUSA says, who else did you speak with? Kid Cudi says, I spoke with Capricorn Clark. She's sounding near tears. What did she say? That Sean Combs was in the car near my house. Brian Steele, objection. That one is overruled. Okay, it's about to get spicy, y'all. It's about to get spicy. Now, we got to start looking up this Capricorn Clark person. So, Diddy's former, assistant, Capricorn Clark. Is this her?
Did Capricorn come forward? Capricorn has been found, y'all, because...
Who's Capricorn?
Again faced yet another case. Proverbs 4:14. She dropped bombshell after. Here's what to pretend they never wanted the skin. After that, she made another round.
Oh, it's Capadonna. Okay, here we go.
Former assistant never took anything from him and instead was nothing but giving throughout the year she worked for Diddy. This means even Diddy confirmed that Capricorn is pretty reliable and credible, so people started getting suspicious when she made shocking statements about Diddy a week after Cassie settled the lawsuit and a few days after new lawsuits were filed against her ex-boss. And once again, Diddy became the center of attention after more people accused him of serious offenses. If you think this is controversial enough, wait until you see what Capricorn posts on her ex account right after. Here's what she wrote. Black women end up being the sacrifice for the last 11 years of my life. I had to deal with everyone's nonsensical allegiance to the devil. After this post, many people think Capricorn was referring to Diddy when she wrote the word devil.
Oh, she flipped on Diddy. The only person seemingly not flipping on Diddy is Christina Karam. But we did hear from the last assistant, they said until she worked for Diddy until recently. So maybe she stopped working for Diddy and now she's flipped. If you ask me who's still in Diddy's corner, Gina, she's holding on. She still thinks she could be wifey. She probably still want a kid by Diddy. So Gina's still holding on. Other than Gina, we have, who else? Christina Karam, who, by the way, I think if she takes a stand, Diddy might as well just reserve his bunk in a prison. That chick is the key and the glue to everything.
And if you could read Cassie's 35-page bombshell lawsuit, the singer mentioned how countless people tried covering up for Diddy. Now, that sounds very intriguing. Her post continues with, I pray that ends. I don't think highly of any of you. Can't keep your head down plus pretend it is cool no more. Do better. Once again, Capricorn didn't mention anyone, but fans quickly noticed how she said working for someone in particular during a particular period.
And keep in mind, the reason why we were reading this, Capricorn is mentioned here. Kid Cudi says Capricorn called her in tears. And he says, what did she say? That Diddy was in a car near my house. Remember, this is Diddy's assistant, which you could tell. What this should tell us, chat, even Diddy's assistant at the time, or like some employee of Diddy or associate, is telling the people he's trying to hurt. Like, yo, Sean is outside your home. Like, she's communicating with Kid Cudi almost like, yeah, I can't stop him. But just let you know he's outside your house. Right? So Diddy's own people, you could tell, and this goes towards this whole RICO thing. Yeah, people were in his organization, but they were doing their job, but they weren't with it. They would even tip off the people he was trying to do stuff to. Yo, Diddy's in his car outside your house. Overruled. Let's see what's the next thing. This is going to be tense, chat. So you call Sean Combs? Kid Cudi says, yes, I did. I called him. He says, I'm over here waiting for you, playboy. AUSA says, when you arrived, what did outside look like? Kid Cudi says, pretty normal. AUSA says, do you have any security cameras? Says, yes, but I found out they weren't working. Kid Cudi says, but the security cameras had been moved. He says, did you move them? Kid Cudi said, no. So Diddy got there, seeing security cameras, and either fucked them up or disconnected them or moved them somehow. AUSA says, what did you see inside your home? Gifts were open, some stuff I got from Chanel. And my dog was locked up in the bathroom. He said, well, how did you normally leave your dog? I let him roam. AUSA says, how long you had your dog? 3 years. Says, what changes were behavior of your dog after the break-in? He says, my dog was jittery, on edge all the time. So it looked like Diddy showed up and was making some shit happen. He was making some shit shake. Holy. What the fuck? Sorry. Okay. Wow. So Diddy was trying to intimidate this guy. Let's keep hearing a little bit more about Capricorn Clark.
Guess what? Capricorn supposedly worked for Diddy and his label from 2001 to 2012, which was 11 years exactly. Now, start connecting the dots. As expected, others criticized her for saying bad things about her former employee, who even wished her nothing but the best when they parted ways. Capricorn didn't let this slide and fired back by sharing a quote saying, they will skin you and wear you baby girl to pretend they never wanted the skin. After that, she made another round of very serious allegations, this time mentioning Kim Porter while saying, Kim was the only person who didn't switch up, the only one dark times. I'm personally very triggered. With the hashtags Protect Black Women IRL and RIP Kim. For those who do not know, there had been rumors suggesting that Diddy actually played a huge part in the reason Kim passed away so suddenly. In fact, there are even people who suggested that he poisoned Kim, which caused her untimely. One of them was Albie Shure, who shared his conversation with Kim before she passed away.
You know, and as time progresses and things happen and we work together.
He was not convinced about the police reports which suggested that Kim passed away because of lobar pneumonia and insisted that the actress mentioned how she was allegedly running away from someone and was too afraid to get the authorities involved. Sounds familiar? These are only a few of the people who are starting to step up and speak out. And as more details about Diddy and his alleged tendency to hurt his partners come.
Okay, we want to get some Capricorn Clark stuff. We're not getting it though. This is the.
If you know,
some people think Capricorn Clark is Jane Doe.
About Capricorn Clark. Capricorn Clark is a former assistant of Diddy, and based upon some things that Suge Knight said on a podcast, she came out to speak. So I'm going to read from Euroweb. Diddy's former assistant Capricorn Clark is speaking out after Suge Knight revealed on his podcast that the bad boy mogul once brutally beat her. In a message posted to her private Twitter account, Clark called Diddy the devil and noted, black women end up being the sacrifice for the fuckery. Last 11 years of my life, I have had to deal with everyone's nonsensical allegiance to the devil. I pray that ends. I don't think highly of any of you.
Yeah, we've seen that already. We'll see what her influence is in this case. Let's keep it going, chat. AUSA says, I got back in and I called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him. I wanted to fight him, you know? Oh, Kid Cudi, stop it, nigga. Pull up your thong. You wasn't trying to fight shit. Stop the cap. Y'all think Kid Cudi was trying to scrap with a diddler? Yo, bruv, stop playing, bro. Stop playing. You know you wasn't trying to scrap with a diddler. Stop playing. Yo, stop playing with me, nigga. You was trying to scrap with a diddler. Really, nigga? You know damn well you was not trying to scrap with a diddler, bro. Or I got back in and I called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him. I was trying to fight him, you know. AUSA says, did he answer? He says, yes. He says, I'm on my way. Oh, my God. Yo, Diddy on timing. Diddy on timing. You're not taking away my bitch who do freak offs with me. I'm coming to beat your ass. Yo, Diddy was ready to strap. Yo, Kid Cudi, you would have been on the list with J. Cole and Drake, nigga. Diddy ready to squabble all y'all niggas. That's a fact. I bet. Steele says objection. Judge says grounds. Non-responsive. What? Still overruled. Come on, Steele. You gotta. You know, this is the big press day. We all want to hear what Kid Cudi gotta say. You gotta body him. Like, yo, chat, I hope you know what's going on. Brian Steele has to body Kid Cudi today. He took wins so far. He popped up with Flores. He killed Flores. Bodied the YSL trial. Could you body Kid Cudi? He wears a thong and a crop top, for God's sake, and a skirt. All right, here we go. Judge says, ask a new question. AUSA says, when you saw Cassie, how did she seem? Kid Cudi says, depressed. AUSA says, did you see Cassie in Connecticut? Kid Cudi says, yes, she needed it. Oh, shit. Now we get to find out when she went to Connecticut, to where her parents are from, to tell her parents about how Diddy been beating her ass. Kid Cudi slid up there and piped her down. That's when Diddy hit up the parents and said, yo, I'm going to keep it a bean with y'all. I need 20 bands. Your daughter been cheating on me with some bum-ass thing named Kid Cudi. I need my money. They took out a home equity loan. They sent Diddy $20,000. Diddy gets his bitch back. He returns the $20,000. Okay, it's all making sense. AUSA says, did Mr. Combs call you? Yes, he hit me a few times. Oh, I ain't gonna lie. Diddy's on timing. Like, Diddy wasn't ducking no smoke. Oh, my God. He said, what did you say? I said I ain't want to talk with him. He broke into my house, hurt my dog. Yo, Kid Cudi, you pussy. That nigga's on your head top, nigga. He broke into your house, did all of that. Yo, why he looking for you? You should be looking for him. This you could tell the pussy nigga in every situation. Kid Cudi, you wasn't trying to fight that nigga. You called him saying y'all want to fight. He like, I'm on my way. What happened? You said you hit him a couple times. Or he hit you a couple times. You say you ain't want to talk because he broke in your house. He hurt your dog, nigga. You got to slide. Chat, you don't think I'll slide for Pluto? Did you and Miss Ventura break up? Yes. Yeah, man. Let go of that nigga bitch. That's Diddy's bitch, nigga. What about your car? My dog's babysitter called me and told me my car was on fire. The diddler set the shit on fire. Diddler set this shit on fire. Yo, Kid Cudi, I don't care. You gonna lie in his testimony. Diddy was punking you, nigga. Don't act like talking about I wanted to fight him. Every time you hit him, he said he's on his way. You go to Connecticut, he was hitting you like, yo, what's like you're saying, yo, I don't want to talk to you no more. You hurt my dog. Why Diddy looking for you? You should be looking for him. If you like that. So where were you? He says, I was at a relative of my ex-girlfriend. So he kind of in a roundabout way saying, I was fucking on my ex-girlfriend. I wasn't with Cassie. I was fucking on an ex-girlfriend. Talking about at a relative of my ex-girlfriend. Stop it. Where did you go? I went to my house, 8925 Hollywood Hills Road. AUSA says, let me show you 6 pictures. Do you recognize? Kid Cudi says, yeah, that's my Porsche. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. Nah, I can't. I feel like this is doing too much over a girl, though. So Diddy blew up that nigga Porsche, man. Nah, Diddy really blew up that nigga Porsche. Yo, chat, why every time we're getting to the good shit, chat, y'all know I gotta go in like 40 minutes type shit. Damn. I ain't cutting the stream. I wonder if I can make up some shit. I'm gonna tell my lawyer. Even though I'm on stream, they might be like, yo, nigga, you just said this in front of 20,000 people. What are you talking about? Okay, damn. Here we go. Miss Cudi says the damage to my Porsche was from the Molotov cocktail. Y'all know what that is, right? Molotov cocktail. Look, it's this shit right here.
This is a chunk of pipe we just got from Home Depot. This is that same chunk of pipe.
Okay, that's a pipe bomb. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to show with this. Okay, let's show a Molotov cocktail. It would be this.
Peaty Scotch.
Here we go.
Without going to jail. This is a bottle of explosive and blow up without going to jail. This is a bottle of delicious peaty Scotch. This is a bottle of delicious peaty Scotch, registered with the ATF as a destructive device that we can legally fill up with gasoline and throw as a live Molotov cocktail.
Oh, so you put gasoline in a bottle. You put like a thing in it. Damn, I feel like I'm teaching y'all how to do some shit. Don't do this. Don't do this, chat. Y'all gonna get locked up. And you light here, and then when you throw it, the bottle breaks, the gasoline ignites. Oh.
This is a destructive device, well, because it's a freaking bomb. And this is one because, well, it's an incendiary weapon. These are all destructive devices, but you, as a private citizen, can legally own them.
Stop the cat, bro. All right, don't listen to this bum ass thing. Okay, here's.
How do Molotov cocktails work and why are they such effective weapons? In their simplest form, these devices are just bottles filled with flammable or combustible liquid like gasoline or alcohol, along with a rag that stops up the bottle top, resting in the fuel inside. This rag in the top essentially acts as a fuse, or like a wick in a candle. When the rag is lit, the Molotov cocktail is thrown, the bottle then shatters, spraying flammable fuel everywhere, which is then caught on fire by the lit rag or cloth. First used in 1936 in the Spanish Civil War against Soviet tanks, what makes the Molotov such a useful weapon is how simple it is to make and how much damage it can do to much stronger targets, like tanks. Over the years, Molotov cocktails have been refined and even mass-produced, but at their core they remain this same incredibly flammable device. Sometimes thickening agents are added to the fuel to make it stick to the target, dealing even more damage.
Anthony Arnold, thank you for the 5 gifted. Appreciate you, my boy.
While the initial impact and explosion of the Molotov does very little, the lasting fire does significant damage, either cooking electronics, tanks, or starting larger fires. They're quite versatile and can easily harm enemies in combat. The combination of their simplicity and ability to inflict massive damage is why we're seeing these devices used so heavily by Ukrainians seeking to defend their homeland in the recent conflict with Russia.
Wow, okay. Damn. I only see that shit on movies and GTA, but now we're seeing it. Damn, Diddy did that? AUSA says, what was your reaction to your car being set on fire? Kid Cudi says, what the fuck? It says, objection. It says, overruled, okay? What? The judge says, break. Oh, man, don't break right now. Holy shit. Diddy and, Kid Cudi is testifying about the arson. Kid Cudi arson. Why we never...
There may be a... I thought a lot of people knew about this because obviously... So, carried...
Has Kid Cudi ever talked about...
I'm outside a wet federal court in Manhattan where we are about to start day 9 of the criminal trial against Sean Combs. Today, we're going to be hearing testimony from rapper Kid Cudi, who has said through a spokesman that his car exploded in 2012 following threats by Mr. Combs that was contained in a $20 million civil suit filed by Cassie Ventura. Today is expected to be the first time that the rapper is going to go into detail about this incident. We are also expected to hear more testimony from Combs employee George Kaplan, who testified yesterday that he helped set up hotel rooms for the hip-hop mogul, stocking them with lube, baby oil, and Mr. Kaplan also said that he picked up drugs from Mr. Combs on several occasions. I'm outside a wet federal court in Manhattan where we are about to start day 9 of the criminal trial against Sean Combs. Today, we're going to be hearing testimony from rapper Kid Cudi.
Yeah, I heard Kid.
Wow, 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 wow.
Did Sean
The following year, she claimed, quote, Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. So now we have that allegation, and we have the mention of arson in the indictment. But then we go to the government's bail letter that they filed with the court. They were advocating that Combs be denied bail. He has been twice. And they allege, quote, in the early morning hours of December 22nd, 2011, the defendant and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking into and entering the residence of Individual 1. By the way, Individual 1 is not named, but we'll get to that. Multiple witnesses would testify at trial to the events surrounding the kidnapping and break-in, the latter of which is corroborated by police reports and other records. Approximately 2 weeks later, the defendant's co-conspirators set fire to Individual 1's vehicle by slicing open the car's convertible.
So we're going to go down a whole Kid Cudi art. Remember, it says multiple witnesses would testify at trial to the events. So supposedly there was a kidnapping. They're saying the defendant and a co-conspirator. Now, if once we see co-conspirator, we got to think that person's flipping on Diddy too. They kidnapped an individual at gunpoint. So Diddy and somebody who had a strap put a gun to somebody, kidnapped him to get into Kid Cudi's crib. Okay? They get up in Kid Cudi's crib, and then essentially they put a dog in the fucking thing. They open all the gifts. They kind of vandalize it a bit just to kind of send Kid Cudi a message like, nigga, you know we could come get you anytime. 2 weeks later, the defendant's co-conspirators, and you know what I think is going to happen? The people who Diddy had set fire to this shit, they're going to get immunity and tell on Diddy. Look, defendants co-conspirators, because they know who it is, co-conspirators. They know who. Because they would, if they didn't know, they'd be like, oh, the defendant, or they would have accused him. Says the defendant co-conspirators set fire to Individual 1, which is Kid Cudi's vehicle, by slicing open the convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior.
Convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior. Police and fire department reports extensively document the arson and conclude that the fire was intentionally set. Multiple witnesses would also testify to the defendant bragging about his role in destroying Individual 1's car. Hence, why we can make the argument that they are referencing Kid Cudi. This echoes Ventura and the indictment. Actually, I should say that while this mirrors Ventura's description of events, she said this happened slightly later than when prosecutors say it happened, about a month or so difference. But putting that to the side, Kid Cudi actually responded to Ventura's claims in the lawsuit. His representatives told the New York Times back in November, when the suit was filed, this is all true. Mark Agnafilo, a lawyer for Mr. Combs, said there is no allegation that Mr. Combs was involved in these actions or directed anyone else to take them. It's clear the government doesn't know who set fire to the vehicle or how it relates to Mr. Combs, who denies any involvement. Hey, by the way, thank you so much for coming to us for our Sean Combs coverage.
Well, you know, it's kind of a science. Well, it actually is a science. You have to take each step of the investigation.
So this is the arson investigator. By the way, we're on a break, a slight break. Hopefully they come back soon. They haven't came back yet. All right, we're waiting. Fuck is this?
In line with the NFPA guidelines for fire investigations, which is to identify a problem, collect evidence, take that evidence and create a hypothesis, and then you have to prove that hypothesis. So it's called the scientific methodology of conducting a fire investigation. So that is kind of the groundwork for fire investigators. So we have now a guideline to begin our investigation. At that point, you look at the fire, you look at burn patterns, you collect evidence, maybe even evaluate whether or not an accelerant such as gasoline or acetone or something is used to accelerate the fire. And then you might look for devices. You might look for Molotov cocktails, as you mentioned earlier. But that process is the investigative scene examination process. And then you have to take that information you've gathered and you develop your hypothesis on how that incident may have occurred. So outside of that, then you start collecting information from interviews, from video footage that might be at or near the fire incident. And then you might collect things like fingerprints or something that would leave, maybe DNA or something like that, something that would connect the crime to a person.
So when I mention in this case that the government has these fire records and they feel pretty confident to show what they pertain it to show, what would these fire records show to a jury if they're presented in a court of law?
Well, just as I had mentioned, the records would identify the process of which they conducted their investigation. In a courtroom, attorneys understand the guidelines for fire investigations. So if their case is weak or if they're feeling a little bit threatened by the progress of prosecution, then they start picking apart the actual investigative process. And they will take it line by line, item by item. They'll challenge every aspect of the investigation. And then they may even start picking apart the qualifications of the fire investigator. So that is why it's so important to try, as an investigator, to try your best to follow the provisions outlined, the standard of care, I call it, of NFPA 921, which is the guide to fire and explosion investigations. And then also make sure that your credentials are solid. You have to have continued training and certification. So that's kind of what you would expect to see in those reports.
Do you have any concern that this is from 2012, right? That's a long time ago. Would that change anything about these records? Would it change? I mean, obviously, if you're talking about a fire investigator coming on the stand, like any witness, you're dealing with something that's from so long ago. There could be witness memory issues. But in terms of the fire records from so long ago, anything we should be thinking about there?
Well, as long as the fire investigator conducted his investigation in accordance with the guidelines, provided that that investigator, whoever that may be, is qualified to conduct that investigation, a record is a stamp in time, if you will. The facts don't change unless the investigator, and I do this with my reports, is I leave it open-ended. So if additional information should come forth that may change the outcome or change the direction of the investigation, the investigator has the ability to add a provision or a clause within that report to say, upon further investigation or additional information, I have the right to change my opinions or enhance my opinions. Right. So I think the report, as it sits, is fine unless an investigator has additional information they may have collected.
So when I laid out the facts as alleged by the prosecution and as alleged by Cassandra Ventura, and you're talking about allegedly a Molotov cocktail being used to blow up this car, what do you expect prosecutors will do to show that this happened? Can they prove that it was intentional? How can they prove that a Molotov cocktail was used?
Well, the evidence of the Molotov cocktail being in the vehicle and the slash of the roof is evidence that a suspicious fire or an intentional fire has occurred. So that information is pretty solid. And then you have to start looking for intent. Why was this even done? Was it an act of revenge? Was it an insurance fraud situation? That you have to kind of figure out what was going on. So when you do your interviews, you have to ask the questions, when were the last payments made on your vehicle? Are you upside down in the car? You have to kind of weed out all of the things that may be on the sidelines. And then you just kind of focus your attention on, okay, have you had any recent threats? Have you had any phone calls that may have been made that threaten you or your friends or your family? And then you start honing in on motive. And, arson, there are several different types of motives: arson for profit, revenge, crime cover-up, that type of thing. So as an investigator, you have to begin to weed through all of those potential motives and have to hyper-focus your investigation on who did this? Who are the suspects? Who are the players in this potential arson crime? And once you do that, and you start asking the questions, it's no different than a detective seeking out information with regard to a homicide or something like that. So you have to be able to ask the appropriate questions. It sounds like with the reports that I'm reading is that the investigators have gone down that path, and they have a lot of confidence that they have their person.
Just to follow up on this, though, how confident can you be that it was, you know, a Molotov cocktail? Why do I say that? I imagine defense attorneys will say, you know, you're saying it's a Molotov cocktail. We can prove it's something else. Maybe we can prove it was not intentional. And if we can even if we can't prove it was not intentional, if we can say it was caused by something other than a Molotov cocktail, it's kind of a chip at the prosecution's case, right? If you can provide an alternative explanation. So how can they be confident that they can say, again, that it was intentional and it was a Molotov cocktail? Is that, if they're painting themselves in that way, right, and that's what seems to be, is that they have to feel confident that that was what it was. The fire investigator has to feel confident that that was what it was. What are some telltale signs that, again, it was intentional and a Molotov cocktail?
Well, the first thing you do, whether you have a container to carry, a Molotov cocktail basically is a container with some form of a fabric, or we call it a fuse, that the container is holding whether a gasoline or some form of flammable liquid. So we know that we have the flammable liquid, and a flammable liquid is really not supposed to be inside of a vehicle. So you have that element that there is something foreign that has been introduced to the interior of the vehicle, and that can be determined by the use of an arson dog or a canine. They go in and they identify areas that an accelerant may have been used, and at that point you collect lab samples, you collect seat cushions, carpeting, whatever, and then you send that off to a lab for further examination, and they make a determination what type of accelerant it is. So that kind of, you set that aside, going, well, we have an accelerant inside of a car, and then you start looking for fragments of a bottle. And if you can even piece together some form of a container that's been thrown in the vehicle, that helps. But ultimately, the gasoline inside the vehicle is not a normal thing. So you've got the element of an arson just in the fact you have gasoline in the car. So,
right.
You know, I think that may be where they're going with this. Even if somebody says, well, it wasn't a Molotov cocktail, which is another charge, actually, because it's a device that's been constructed for the purpose of setting a fire. So there's a separate charge with that.
Those would be state charges, right? I mean, this is more of part of an overall federal racketeering case. I do want to ask you this. You mentioned DNA. That perked my ears up. Is it possible that, given the description I laid out, that DNA could be present in that car, to the extent, obviously, Kid Cudi's DNA would be in the car, right? It's his car. But the idea of knowing who allegedly was operating this Molotov cocktail, what are the chances you get DNA from that?
Well, the chances, you know, in reality, the chances are fairly slim. But in certain cases, DNA has proven to be very helpful, such as a discarded cigarette, or maybe some gloves that have been left behind at the scene, or maybe the container that was used to carry the gasoline to the scene. All
right, enough of that, man. Is it back or not? Let's get to the shit. Here we go. I think the break should be over. Oh, the break's still going on? Says, shit, I understand why Kid Cudi was smoking before he jumped on the stand. Let's fucking go, bro. Damn, we're still on a break.
Was not handled with gloves. It might have just been somebody's raw fingers that are on this thing, and which is transferring DNA. So there's different transporting of DNA to a scene. So if you can get that from something, whether it be a door handle or whatever it might be, that's something that investigators would consider. Whether it's successful or not, it just depends on how cunning the arsonist is and how protective they are of the DNA, what's left behind. So that's kind of where I would see it to be helpful.
So, Robert, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, I thought this was fascinating. As this case progresses and maybe more details come to light about this specific incident, I would love to have you back on. Real quick, tell everybody what your background is and also where they can find you now.
Well, not to bore everybody, but I started out as a firefighter. I worked for the city of Downey for many years. And during that time of being a firefighter, I promoted up to a captain level. And I actually ran the arson division in the city of Downey. I worked with a lot of the surrounding cities. They considered it the Area E group, which involved Compton and Santa Fe Springs and a couple other surrounding cities. And we would share our expertise and our time to help each other. So I was exposed to quite a few fire scenes, very interesting fire scenes.
Right.
And now as a private for PyroCop, I've traveled all over the country. I've been to many different types of fires, and I love it. I love this work. It's a great career, and I have no complaints whatsoever.
Is that a fire symbol on your shirt?
Yeah, it's the little PyroCop looking at a fire.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh, look at that.
All right, okay. So Kid Cudi's job. Okay, bet we're back. So before juries are back, will you finish with the witness of today? AUSA says through the cross of Mr. Kaplan was 3 times longer than we thought. So I guess they had scheduled witnesses. They're basically saying we don't know if we're going to get to all 6. So they're on the second. They might not get to the other 4. And AUSA asked Kid Cudi, was the damage of your car present before the call from the dog sitter? So basically before you were alerted that the car's on fire, did the damage you witnessed, because he never saw the car on fire, when you went back and seen that car, was it like that? And Kid Cudi says no. AUSA says, did you think it was accidental or intentional? He said, I definitely thought it was intentional. AUSA says, where did you last see Ms. Ventura? He says, at Soho House. I'd reached out to Sean Combs and says, let's talk. This is getting out of hand. Yo, Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi, pure pussy. Your nigga blow up your car. He break in your house. He throw your little funky ass dog in the bathroom and shut it. And fucking, you're like, yo, bro, let's talk. Yo, Kid Cudi's the worst type of nigga. In this life, I think you either a gangster or you're a civilian. If you're a civilian, when niggas do shit to you, you should call the police. That's just how it goes. If you gangster, or you feel like you street, or you feel like, oh, I don't do police, you should go step and handle your business yourself. Kid Cudi's what I just call pure pussy. He don't want to pick a side because he want to be seen like he's like, maybe it's a hip-hop thing. Oh, I ain't going to call it. I would have been called the cops on Diddy. Diddy would have been under the jail, nigga. What the fuck? It's either you going to slide on Diddy and pistol whip him, like you got to go kidnap, like nigga, I would have kidnapped his cat, his zebra, his fucking chimpanzee, his elephant, nigga. Nigga, all right, if we going tit for tat, nigga, I'm breaking into Star Island. But Kid Cudi not like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, why don't you go to the cops? I hate when non-gangster niggas who ain't gonna retaliate in a gangster way just play bitch and don't do nothing. Or act like, oh no, I'm just trying to save my reputation. Nigga, nobody think you about to do anything anyway, you a hoe. He should have went to the cops. So he said, instead of going to the cops or anything, he called the nigga who did all this shit to him and said, let's talk it out. Huh? Steele says, can we have a sidebar? The judge says, do you have an objection? He says, yes. The judge says, sustained, disregard, and move on. AUSA says, yo, who set up the meeting at Soho House? Mescudi says, D-Rock and my manager. So it looked like D-Rock, who was one of the security guards for Diddy, and Kid Cudi's manager, they got involved and said, yo, bro, listen, let's get the shit together, okay? So they set up a meeting. And, yeah. Cool. Now, AUSA says, yo, what was Mr. Combs doing? Kid Cudi says, standing there like a Marvel supervillain. He said they go to the meeting at Soho House, and Diddy's standing there like a Marvel supervillain. Kid Cudi says, he said we were homies, but he said, you know that's my girl. Kid Cudi said, what did you say? You could tell Kid Cudi, he a bitch. He said, bro, he copping pleas to Diddy. Yo, a nigga done threw your funky ass dog in the bathroom. He went through your whole house, ransacked it, and then blew up your car. And you over here copping, please, bro. I thought you broke up with her. Yeah, all right, nigga. Combs offered him water twice. Oh man, Diddy's a demon. Diddy's a demon. Yo, I need a movie about this. Kid Cudi, why did you take the stand to come confirm everything we thought Diddy did to you? Like Diddy was just punking you. Nigga, you should have been on the shit like, yo, y'all can't get me to admit this by hook or by crook, nigga. Hell no. Kid Cudi said it was weird. Sean Combs was being so calm. He said, what did Cassie say? That we had fallen in love and things happened. What did you say to Mr. Combs? I said, what about my car? He says, I don't know what you're talking about, Playboy. I walked away. Nah, nigga, say it exactly how it happened. What car? Yo, Kid Cudi going through it. Shout out to my nigga Kid Cudi, but he going through it, bro. Kid Cudi going through it. Kid Cudi going through it. Kid Cudi going through it, bro. Nigga say go to the meeting. This nigga Sean Combs sitting there just like probably with like his glasses low with a toothpick in his mouth looking like a fucking supervillain. Offered him water twice. He said he was like, bro, I thought y'all broke up. That nigga said, yo, you know we cool, but that's my bitch. That bitch, mine. Oh, man. And Cassie got to sit. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of gangster. Yo, let me have a meeting with this nigga who been fucking you or trying to fuck you. Well, actually was fucking her. And you gonna sit here and let me son this nigga, and he gonna sit here and get sunned and then leave. Did you see Mr. Combs later? A few years later at Soho House, he said, I'm just sorry for all that bullshit. I was surprised, so I found peace with it. AUSA says no further question. All right, Brian Steele, it's time to drop 35. Brian Steele, you got to drop. Yo, Brian Steele, you can't fumble this shit like the Knicks. You got to actually fuck 35. We need a 50-point game. Brian Steele. Brian, we need 35 from you, boy. Yo, this nigga Kid Cudi showed up to court to basically say, yo, I fucked a nigga's bitch, and he punked me, blew up my car, fucked around, broke in my house. I asked him about the car. He ain't pay me back for shit. He just had a nice, calm meeting with me to say, leave his bitch alone. I got no get back, no nothing. This is like a weird-ass situation. I wouldn't even testify to this type of shit. I'm telling you, I would have put a case, the case I would have put on Diddy. The case I would have put on Diddy is crazy, nigga. I would have been singing, like, nigga, don't show up to snitch when, you show up to snitch when it don't even matter. I would have been in court the next day. Whatever. All right. Brian still about to step up. Oh, man. I'm telling you, the best times come when I got to step away. All right, Brian Steele says, I want to ask you a couple questions about your Porsche in 2022. Kid Cudi corrects him. Nah, it was 2012, buddy. Steele says, I apologize. Did you get a call about damage to your vehicle? Any surveillance footage? Kid Cudi says, nah, my dog's babysitter did send me footage of the damage, though. Okay. We got to see how Brian Steele going to play this, chat. How will Brian Steele play this shit? How will Mr. Steele play this? You say, you know he's so mad at Diddy? Of course. Yo, Diddy invited him to dinner like a hoe and sat him down and told him, yo, it's like beating a nigga's ass and explain to him calmly why the fuck you beat his ass. And he ain't trying to get no get back. He's like, all right, I get it. Okay, all right, thanks for letting me know. Okay, I'm good. Kid Cudi got punked this entire time by Diddy. That is crazy. Holy shit. Steele says the DNA was taken. Are you aware it came back to being a female? AO says objection. No foundation. The judge says sustained. Steele says, do you know there was DNA results? The judge says, I'll allow that question. Kid Cudi said no. So it looked like they're going into the reports of what happened. because obviously arson investigators came out. They looked at it, and they deemed that to be, they deemed the damage to be, something that people were trying to fuck with the vehicle. But now they're saying that they even took DNA, but the DNA came back to a female. Outside the courtroom. This is earlier. It's a rainy day in New York City, people.
We got the tent.
I think we could probably see Kid Cudi show up at a certain point. Let me see. Yeah, this is
Diddy physically assaulted her when his former personal assistant, George Kaplan, is done. Kaplan said he picked up drugs twice for Diddy and that the rapper threatened his job on a regular basis. But to back up for a moment, earlier in the day, we heard from psychologist Don Hughes. He testified.
Oh, this thing is doing drops. Which police is this? New York City police are like this. Oh, this is what the reporters do when they're not on mic? Oh, shit.
Two lawyers, Rosanna and Kurt, good morning to both of you. Also, inclement weather is showing a smaller media presence here. A lot of things to factor into that. But prosecutors plan to call a total of 5 witnesses to the stand today, including Kid Cudi, who will testify right after Diddy's former personal assistant, George Kaplan, is done. Kaplan said he picked up drugs not once but twice for Diddy in Miami and Los Angeles. He also testified that Diddy threatened his job pretty much on a regular basis. Earlier in the day, we heard from psychologist Don Hughes, who testified as a blind expert on abusive relationships, a major component of the prosecution's case. Hughes explained that women who say they're abused often stay in those relationships and that many victims wait months, even years, before telling someone what happened to them. Defense attorneys also cross-examined investigator Gerard Gannon, who was the special agent in charge of the raid on Diddy's home in Miami last year. Gannon told the court that his team recovered around 36 bottles of baby oil, gun parts, and drugs. He said 6 people were at the home when it was searched, including a music producer and a property manager. Diddy's lawyers argue evidence in the case reflects domestic violence, but not sex trafficking.
All right. Wait. Holy. All right, let's go. Combs says, Miss Ventura, so Cassie told you it was over, right? Kid Cudi says, nah, we just stopped talking. Steele says, you told this honorable court in this jury that she played you. Ooh. Kid Cudi says, yes. Steele says, she played you and you had no clue? Kid Cudi said, no clue. Ooh, so it looked like maybe Cassie was playing between both of them. So it might have been one of those things where Cassie was trying to make Diddy jealous. Remember, Diddy's fucking other women. Cassie keeps finding out, but Cassie loved Diddy. Cassie's probably like, it could be one of those, shout out to all my chat queens, ever did this? I got to give you a taste of your own medicine. Pause. No Diddy. So she starts dealing with this guy, but here's the thing, her heart belongs to Diddy. She loved Diddy. But she realized Diddy not taking her serious. Diddy's doing A, B, and C. Diddy's doing fuck shit. He ain't giving her enough time. So she's on some shit like, I'm going to show you why you need to stop fucking playing with me. You know I'm a bad bitch. You know all these niggas on my body. All right, let me go entertain a nigga real quick. She go entertain that nigga. Diddy ready to crash out. She wasn't entertaining the nigga to leave the nigga. She was entertaining the nigga that Diddy could realize what the fuck he had. Because when Diddy had unfiltered access to her, remember, Diddy was talking to her on some shit like, yo, bitch, like, make sure my number is on some VIP alert shit, loud. Don't miss my phone calls. So it looks like she started feeling neglected. She started entertaining somebody. And if Kid Cudi says he felt played, he probably feel that he was genuine about trying to get with her while she was just trying to make Diddy mad. Interested. Okay. Interesting. Somebody said, can't no regular nigga go to war with Diddy. Yeah, Diddy was stepping on business. I ain't even gonna lie. Diddy was standing on business when it come to all this shit.
Cassie Ventura back in 2011. Last week, Ventura told the court that Diddy physically assaulted her when he found out about their relationship. She also said Diddy threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car. And according to police reports, Kid Cudi's convertible was set on fire by an incendiary device back in 2012, but Diddy was never formally connected to that investigation. And the defense insists that prosecutors are wrong in that accusation. For now, we're live here at federal court in Lower Manhattan. Kurt and Rosanna, back to you. Thank you. Right. I salute you. All right. No Roy today? Oh, let me give you your thing. I did finally. The guy was riding by on the bike, so confused. Scott had to shut out the window for him. Right. What do you say? Hola.
All right. Yes. Hold on.
Hello?
Okay. All right. We're still waiting for more tweets. Fuck. Please stop. Jesus Christ. How come Kid Cudi never did no fucking interview about this shit? Nah, I'm coordinating with somebody in court right now. I'm coordinating with somebody in court. Hold on. Okay. While we sit here and wait, I do have a few things for y'all. So we have some more footage of, not footage, but pictures of what happened with the raid. They broke a lot of shit at Diddy's house. And I don't know why Diddy's lawyers did this during the trial, but they were trying to like kind of showcase that Diddy, it wasn't necessary for the force. And they were pretty much almost saying, yo, you guys were fucked up for, oh, here we go.
Cudi, are you nervous to testify today?
What are you expecting today?
You look great.
You look great.
Cudi, are you nervous to testify today?
What are you expecting today?
You look great.
You look great.
Oh shit, I gotta go to this thing in a second. When's the last time we seen?
I love this. This is great.
A Ninja Turtle rat bag.
He turns around and like.
Nah, this was 2011 or 2012. Remember, Cassie was fucking him 2011.
You got Kid Cudi coming out of hide. This, it's like those Old Spice commercials. I love this. This is great. He has one of those Mercedes SLSs with the gull wing. That
nigga looks stressed out, man. Yeah, I know why he got a Mercedes instead of a Porsche.
Like those.
That boy will never get a Porsche again a day in his life.
Coming out of hide. This, it's like those Old Spice commercials. I love this. This is great. He has one of those Mercedes SLSs with the gull wings.
Right.
And he walks up to the car and we ask him.
Okay. All right. Still outside the front of the courtroom. Holy shit. Remember the last person said that Gina this Gina girl, Gina and Capricorn Clark is gonna like become very important. We're gonna have to see what happens there. How come nobody ever talked about Kid Cudi? Did Cassie ever talk about Kid Cudi? No. Cassie never talked about Kid Cudi. Publicly, at least. Where's the last Cassie interview? Cassie interview. I'm talking about post Diddy. Yeah, nobody gave a damn about her after that, right? Oh, here we go.
My lifestyle is so different than everyone else's that, you know, I don't know if marriage would be conducive to me being sitting here with you right now.
From New York and on the new Hot 97 app, Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, the beautiful Laura Styles and the beautiful Cassie on the show. Give it up for Cassie. Rosenberg on assignment with the WWE. Cassie, what's up, kid?
You know, wow, she sounds crazy.
Late night last night?
Yeah, you know.
What was you doing last night?
I had to host at Sapphires.
Oh, word. You was in the strip club last night. Okay.
You know, it wasn't that kind of night, but definitely.
How is Cassie at a strip club? Are you one to have like just stacks and throw it in the air? And
They
do you
gave
get busy?
They gave me this gun, which I've never seen before.
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
Yo,
You put the ones
do y'all
in
know
it,
what year
but
this
they
is
were
with
like,
Cassie?
you know,
Like, what the fuck?
don't
It
just
says
power
7 years
off.
ago.
You gotta
What
just
year
like
is
in
this, Jack?
spurts because you lose the whole
I know it
thing.
said 2017, but it might have been
Got you.
earlier. I think
I'm not that experienced with the, what would that called? The Make It Rain gun would be the appropriate name for that?
I think it's called the Make It Rain gun.
You're here not for music this time. The last time I saw you, we was talking about your last tape you had put out.
Yes.
This
Wow,
time
that
you have, it was a couple years ago now.
It was a while back, yeah.
Yeah, now you got a short film. What's this about?
So the short film is based off of a couple of records that are going to be on my album. So one's called Love a Loser, and the other one's called Don't Play It Safe, but that comes at the end. And it's just basically about a love story between a dysfunctional couple, which I'm sure we're all familiar with.
Yes.
And yeah, you got to watch it.
Did you
Gotta
write,
watch it.
direct, produce, cast the whole thing?
Well, we actually improv'd the whole thing. So it was kind of interesting with Chris. You said your friend.
Yeah, because I brought up because the love interest in the short film is a friend of mine, Chris.
Yes.
And
Chris.
yes, but Chris has so many names. I don't even know what he goes by now. But
Chris.
he was from my neighborhood, East Harlem.
That's so crazy.
And he's friends with Bodega Bams, and he used to run with the Tam Boys. But
Okay.
he's super talented.
Very talented musician.
Yeah.
Would I know him?
Yes, you do.
What was his name?
You know him.
As
You've met
Chris?
Chris.
Gazi Ghost.
Gazi Go. I've heard of that.
Yes.
Okay.
But when
Yeah.
you see him, like, wait a second, I know Chris.
Okay.
That's why I said he has a lot of aliases because he works really hard. But he's super talented.
So how did he become somebody that you got on your radar to become the love interest in the film? Are you guys working together on music outside? or-
So the Diddy and Cassie situation has been getting freakier and freakier by the day. The more and more I hear about these allegations, Diddy is a freaky man, the king of the freak-offs. And Cassie, you feel me? She was young, vulnerable. But like what Ak said, she could have left. Like, Diddy was not holding her well. You know, this is what's hard for me. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't holding her hostage, but she said on the video that came out in the hotel where he hit her over and drug her back, she was trying to leave one of the freak-offs. And Diddy said, oh no, you're not going to leave the freak-offs. You got it. Yeah. Wait till the dude, bust a nut, allegedly. Then all over you, then scrape it off, go in the other room and rub it on my nipples. That's what he wanted. It sounds so crazy to say, but that's what Diddy wanted. Like, we seen him in the robe. I thought he was just fresh out the shower, but allegedly he was probably butt naked I'm surprised it was no baby oil on her or him, or she wiped it off. That's why he was so mad. It was no baby oil on. Hey, man. I genuinely feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for her husband too, because he has to be in court and he's listening to all these things. And I don't really think Cassie's lying about anything. Like, Cassie just seems like a nice girl, probably like gentle, innocent, like, and she just wanted a career. Like, man, I'm struggling here because I want to be very, very honest about everything, like my point of view. I don't think Diddy was the best of best people, and I think everything he did to Cassie was wrong, and it was definitely manipulative and all that stuff. But like, is it sex trafficking though? Like, this is what he's charged for. Like, domestic violence, yes. Assault, yes. Like, probably a bunch of other crazy stuff, yes. But sex trafficking, bro, I don't know if you could say he was sex trafficking. But it's only day 2 of the trial. And I'm gonna be very, very unbiased about every single thing I say. It's day 2 of the trial. Diddy is he's there every day. They say that he's looking white as hell, he's gray as hell. He's, you feel me? They said he was looking at Cassie the whole time. But day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 2 weeks later, there might be someone else taking the stand, and we don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe like 3 days later, there's gonna be a new person taking the stand, and they just expose everything about Diddy. Like, we don't know fully everything Diddy's done yet. Like, there might have been men that he was having freakoffs with. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, Ack was the line about what he said. Diddy should just came out and said that he was a flexible, bro. He should just said he was bisexual, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And what Ack said, bro, all these rappers gotta come out who was around Diddy, like really, really hung around Diddy and was like really cool with him. They need to come out and like, yeah, bro. You gotta defend yourself, your integrity. You feel me? But your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And do you feel like Diddy's innocent, or do you feel like he's guilty? And we're talking about sex trafficking. Like, we're not talking about is he a good person or not. Do you think he's guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie? It's your boy Big Act News, and I'm out.